If you're thinking about moving to the town of Farragut, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Eric Whitener with the Knoxville Real Estate Group, and we're located right here in the heart of Farragut. And in this video, I'm going to give you all the information you need to know before making your move. Let's get started. Town hall is where all the town hall meetings, committee meetings, zoning, planning, permitting, all the town activities happen at town hall. The town is run by a board of mayor and aldermen, which are elected officials elected by the citizens of the town. Some of the other things you'll find in the town hall is a museum geared around Farragut's history. And another cool feature is we have a DMV on the second floor, so you don't have to go very far to get your registration and title work done. You can do that right at town hall. Another thing Farragut has is its own post office, which is pretty convenient. But anyways, so the Farragut post office is located right across the street from town hall. Farragut also has the Farragut Branch Public Library. It's located here on Campbell Station, right adjacent to Founders Park. So it's another great resource. So now I'm at the Farragut Community Center. This is one of the newest additions to the town. They essentially took a church and renovated it and made it into a great place for the public use. In this community center, there is a big hall that can be rented. There's smaller classrooms that can be rented for events, and then there's over here there's a gymnasium where currently people are playing pickleball, and then they open it up also for basketball and other morning yoga and other exercise programs. So really cool facility, something to definitely check out. The downstairs on the other side is the entrance to Knox County Senior Center. It's just down there, a really cool spot for seniors. There's people down there that are painting, group painting. They're playing board games, playing cards. There's exercise rooms. Just a really cool facility for seniors, so that there's a sense of community and a place to go and have some fun time. Definitely check it out. The town's main supply of funds comes from sales tax within the town of Farragut. There is no extra property tax like there is when you live in the city of Knoxville for the services that you receive. So the only property taxes you have are the county taxes that you would have if you lived anywhere else in the county. So one other feature that the town of Farragut has is it has a very nice fire department. That fire department is run by a company called Rural Metro. One of the benefits of having Rural Metro is that we get the most up-to-date equipment and trained first responders. The one maybe downside that most people don't realize is that you technically have to pay for it. It's a subscription-based service. Now, that subscription can be broken down into a monthly payment plan, or you can pay yearly like most people do. The cost is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of, say, $400 to $500, but it's based on the size of your home. So the larger the home, the more that subscription is going to cost. Now, you don't have to technically pay for it, but you should. And here's why. If you were to not be a subscribed member and have a need for their services, say you have a kitchen fire and the fire trucks are called out, they'll put out the fire and then later send you a bill. That bill is going to be in the thousands and thousands of dollars because you're paying per hour for every truck that comes out. Now, some people think that their homeowner's insurance will pay that cost, and that's not necessarily true. So I highly recommend that you check with your insurance company to see if you should be subscribing to Rural Metro. Now, another benefit of having it is that because we don't rely on a volunteer fire department, and we have such a great facility close by, is that our homeowners insurance should be cheaper in the town of Farragut. So it really is sort of a win-win kind of deal. We get better services, we have a better chance of keeping from losing our home due to a fire, and our homeowners insurance should be cheaper. So that's the skinny on the fire department. Turkey Creek is much like a mall, except instead of being internal, you actually would drive or walk to each individual store. In Turkey Creek, you're going to find all the big box stores like JCPenney's, Belk's. You're going to find a Walmart, Target, Total Wine. There's a lot of the big retail in Turkey Creek. You'll also find smaller boutiques, places where you might get like your sunglasses or specialty clothes. You'll also find great restaurants, places like Seasons, Connor's, Fleming's. If you're looking for a place for that more like a sports bar atmosphere, you've got Smoky Mountain Brewery. You have Calhoun's Barbecue. There's a lot of great places to eat within Turkey Creek. You also have one of the area's premier movie theaters, the Pinnacle Movie Theater in Turkey Creek. Outside of Turkey Creek, we also have a lot of other great places to shop and eat. Some great places I like to go to are like Water and a Wine, where you can get a really nice meal and a specialty cocktail, or Mellow Mushroom, where you can get a really good pizza. We have a lot of great grocery stores, Publix, Kroger's, Ingles, and we can't forget Costco. Costco is literally in the town of Farragut over at the corner of Lovell and Kingston Pike. The town of Farragut has a big focus on business growth and development. Remember that part where the town of Farragut's main supply of funds came from tax revenue? Well, they want to make sure that the people who set up shop in Farragut do well. They have a vested interest in that. So their big push is shopping local. Some of those services that they use to help support local businesses are the Farragut West Knox Chamber. The Farragut West Knox Chamber supports businesses through additional marketing, ribbon cuttings, networkings, education opportunities, and so much more. The Farragut Business Alliance, or Shop Farragut, is another organization geared towards holding public events that draw people into the area with hopes that not only they will utilize those vendors that are at these events, but also give more exposure to the local businesses around the event. Visit Farragut is another organization geared towards giving exposure to local businesses and area attractions in the hopes to attract people not only inside of Farragut but outside of Farragut to come in and to utilize these things. For instance, the wonderful parks of Farragut are a great attraction to bring people from other parts of the county or neighboring counties to come into Farragut, utilize the parks, and then go eat at a restaurant or maybe do their shopping in Farragut. So these are all ways that the town of Farragut is trying to support local business. One of the main reasons why a lot of people move to the town of Farragut is to put their children in Farragut schools. Farragut is very well known for providing an atmosphere for a great educational experience and also a great athletic experience. You can look on niche.com where they have Farragut High School rated #1 in best public schools in the Knoxville area, and it's highly ranked throughout the state and country. Farragut actually has 4 schools. The first one's Farragut Primary, located over off of Campbell Station, and it serves between kindergarten and 2nd grade. The next 3 schools are going to be all sort of lumped together in a large compound between the corner of Campbell Station and Kingston Pike. Next, you're going to have Farragut Intermediate, which is 3rd grade through 5th grade. Farragut Middle School, which is going to be 6th through 8th, and Farragut High School, which is going to be 9th through 12th. For private schools, we do have 2 in the area, one being St. John Newman's, which offers preschool through 8th grade. The other one is Concord Christian School, which does everything from preschool all the way through 12th grade. One of the many benefits of living in Farragut is the parks. Farragut has a total of 6 parks. Right now I'm at McPhee Park, and man, this park is awesome. It has everything from, as you can see over here, we have soccer fields. There's a pavilion over there you can use. It's got basketball courts, tennis courts, walking trails. And then over here on this side, we've got another pavilion. There's a splash pad that's open in the summertime and an amazing kids playground. This is honestly an amazing park, super clean, lots of fun. All right, today we're over here at Mayor Bob Leonard Park. It's located over off of Watt Road, and this park is pretty awesome. It's really basically a sports complex. You've got 50 acres with a lot of fields. So there's 5 square fields for things like soccer and lacrosse. You've got 4 baseball diamonds, 3 volleyball courts, sand volleyball, and then there's 1 playground and 2 restrooms. So it's pretty much got everything, plus this really awesome walking trail that walks around all the way through it. It's about 1 mile long, and in the center is this wetlands over here, and it's just a really nice park. So now I'm over here at Founders Park, and Founders Park is located on Campbell Station, in between Kingston Pike and the interstate, I-40. And I have to say, Founders Park is probably the prettiest of all the parks that Farragut has, in my opinion, simply because it has just beautiful trees. It's got this really nice creek running right through it. You know, it's got a couple of pavilions. They've got these statues kind of sprinkled throughout the park. This park is used for a couple different things. Obviously, the walking trail, people come here for that. It does have a little bit more of an uphill loop, and so a little bit more challenging. But it also is a place where the town does things in the summertime, like the lawn chair series, where they set up a stage and they have bands come out and basically hold a concert, and residents just walk over and set up their lawn chairs. And then another event they hold here is Light the Park, where the town goes through and they light up a lot of the town with Christmas lights and decorations. So this is Founders Park. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so now I'm over at Anchor Park, which Anchor Park is another really awesome park. It's actually on the water. So right here, it kind of looks like a little pond that's kind of empty, but actually it's connected to the Tennessee River, which is on the other side of this tract. This is what the river looks like in the winter time. TVA lets the water down to prevent flooding during our rainy season. But this park has all sorts of cool amenities. It's got a fishing dock. It's got actually 2 of them. And then you have a playground, picnic tables. There's soccer fields and baseball field. And these are all connected by walking trails. They got greenways. So there's a lot of neighborhoods on that side of the street, and people can just walk up and down Turkey Creek Road and come swing by the park. It's pretty awesome. All right, now we're over here behind Town Hall at one of their newer parks called the Blue Cross Healthy Place at Town Hall. Now, the cool feature of this park is that it's all inclusive. So it's geared towards people of all ages, including the elderly, and people with any sort of disability should be able to use it. It's got handicap ramps. As you can see right now, there's plenty of kids out here. It's actually a fun little park for people of any ages to use. So really cool. It was a nice collaboration between Blue Cross and the town of Farragut. So now I'm on one of Farragut's greenways, and Farragut actually has over 25 segments of greenways, totaling over 16 miles. And these greenways are awesome because they connect neighborhoods. It takes you off the beaten path in spots, and it's great for biking, walking, running, you name it. It's a great way to get around, get some exercise, and they literally connect neighborhoods. So it's an awesome way for community to get together, get from one neighborhood to another. And just like this one, is awesome because it is right next to a stream, got a creek right here. So awesome feature is definitely the greenways that Farragut has. Pardon me for a second, but if you're getting value out of this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. That way you don't miss any of the future videos we put out. Now let's get back to the video. As you can see, Farragut has some really nice parks. They pretty much have a place or activity for just about everybody. But there are two things we didn't cover, and one of those would be golf. The town of Farragut does not have a municipal golf course, but you do have options. And the first one would be a public golf course called Willow Creek Golf Club. And at that golf club, you basically just pay per day. The second option would be to join the Foxton Country Club. You don't have to live in Foxton to be a member, and you get to enjoy not only the golf course, but also the other amenities that they have. And last but not least, we do have a Top Golf in Farragut. It's one of our newer facilities in town, and it is a lot of fun and very entertaining. The other thing the town of Farragut doesn't offer is a public pool, but you do have some options. And one of those is to join Foxton's social membership, where you get access to the pool as well as other amenities. The other option would be to join Village Green's pool. They have a membership-based type deal where you can join that for the summer for a fee. Now let's talk about housing for a minute, because if you're looking to move to the Farragut area, you need to know what to expect. Now Farragut has a lot of great neighborhoods and varying styles of homes, but because of its proximity to great food and restaurants, the wonderful schools, and the great parks that it has to offer, you can expect to pay a premium to live in the town of Farragut. Matter of fact, the average sales price in the Farragut area for March of 2023, we were looking at $717,000. To put that in comparison, the average sales price for all of Knox County was $418,000. So you're definitely going to pay a bit more to live in the town, but it has its benefits, as we mentioned before. I like to compare the town of Farragut to like a really large HOA that has an overlay of rules and regulations over what the county already has. So permitting's a little bit stricter, regulations are a little bit tougher. They have certain things like sign ordinances where you can't have big obstructive signs. Everything's kind of geared towards maintaining a certain look and feel for the town. Now, some people find this to be a little too much, and they don't like being in or working in the town of Farragut because of that. Other people really like it because the town of Farragut, first off, is very visually appealing. We have a lot of green spaces. We don't have large billboards and signs all around the streets and every corner. There's a lot of things that we don't have that people really enjoy because they live in the town of Farragut. Some people may feel the rules and regulations that the town of Farragut has goes a little too far, but others don't. At the end of the day, the town of Farragut has created a very attractive and desirable place to live. So we've talked about a lot of wonderful reasons to move to the town of Farragut, but there are some downsides too that you need to be aware of. One of those, and probably the biggest complaint I hear about this area, is the traffic. And the traffic can get rather congested, but that again is relative depending on where you're coming from. I myself am originally from the Orlando area, and the traffic around here is nothing like that. But what you can expect for traffic is during the school year, you can expect the roads to get congested around the time people drop off their kids at school and the time they pick up their kids from school. A lot of kids are car riders and not bus riders. The other place is Turkey Creek during the holidays. A lot of people go shopping, and Turkey Creek is a main shopping center for a lot of Knox County and surrounding counties. So we had a lot of influx of people during that time, creating more congestion during that time. Another reason why we tend to get traffic is because of our proximity to I-40. And if there's ever an accident or major delay on I-40, people have a tendency to take the routes around and cut right through Farragut to bypass the interstate. So when that happens, we can definitely see an uptick in congestion. Another downside to Farragut, and this is relative to your situation, but is the cost of housing. Because of the demand to live in the town of Farragut and the lack of supply, housing prices have gone up significantly, almost to the point where somebody who grew up here almost can't afford to live there. So that is definitely something that's become a bit of a downside when you're looking to buy into it. However, there seems to be plenty of people who want to come here because they're paying those prices. One other thing you need to understand when moving to the town of Farragut, and something I've heard a lot of complaints about, is what is considered to be rapid growth and development in the area. Now, Farragut is in a phase where it won't be long, it'll almost be completely built out. But you need to understand that if you move near a green space that's not a public park or, a piece of land that's been specifically set aside as a preserve, that it could turn into a development down the road. The town of Farragut is always trying to keep zoning in check so that things get built out correctly, but that doesn't mean that that farm that you move next to is going to be there in 5 years. And the truth of the matter is we need more housing in the area, especially maybe some higher density homes. That would help bring some of that pricing down. On the bright side, commercial growth is really good for the town of Farragut because the more commercial growth we have, the more tax revenue it receives, the more it can offer the citizens in services. So this is where that double-edged sword comes into play. If we're not building and growing where we need to, then the town can't offer the services that it does. And the chances of ever having a property tax in the town of Farragut are slim to none because the residents absolutely don't want it. Now, I don't blame them. So if you have any questions about what it's like to live in Farragut or you're considering making a move, be sure to give us a call at the Knox Fox Real Estate Group at 865-213-2899 or check us out on the web at theknoxfox.com. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. That way you don't miss any of the future videos we put out.